What we have here is a Meade Instruments. Now, if you don't like me pronouncing the name as Meade, you'd rather pronounce it some other way, just substitute your favorite pronunciation in for what I say, because I'm not going to pronounce it 500 different ways, just for you. Moving on, like I said, it's a Meade Instruments weather clock. The reason why, you can see it has 3 separate sections to the display. It has a time section, which of course you can change the display to. It has a temperature marked in and a temperature marked out with a what appears to be a wireless radio signal. But what exactly is this? And what does that wireless signal mean? Well, let me explain it to you. But before I get into explaining that, this was actually something that I got just today. It's been operating for a couple of hours. And I can say, even though it feels like a cheap piece of crap, you wouldn't be able to tell the difference between this and some $300 clock that tells the temperature. But obviously there is a memory mode, which I will explain in a second as well. A mode key, which allows you to change the various displays of the lower segment, that is the time. You can allow it to display the day. Zone, which I am not sure the function of. I should probably read the manual, but it did come with a little tiny paper manual. It probably describes that in there. And of course, you can let it display the day. And you can just go back to regular time. It does do 12 or 24-hour time. It's your personal preference. Just like it will do Celsius or Fahrenheit. Even though it was made here in China. It was not made here. You can see, there's this nice dimple in the middle. I mean, I like the aesthetics of this, even though it's cheap feeling. Most people aren't going to pick it up and touch it anyways, so the feel of something is not something that I'm going to be concerned about unless I'm looking for a durable product. Which I wasn't. I was just looking for something that worked. Because that thing is having a really difficult time getting accurate temperatures nowadays, even though it's actually just a little bit off. But it's having a really tough time changing temperatures, and it kills batteries pretty quickly, so that's why I've decided it's a good time to get a new one. Which is why I got this, because this actually can tell different things. Now for those that want to know what this out is for. This thing actually has a sensor that I will show you a picture of right now. This device is actually in my dining room, sitting on top of the china cabinet, so I can tell the temperature of the room actually downstairs. It uses wireless technology. I mean, obviously there's no wires going downstairs, you can tell. That will be very inefficient. It can do, I believe it was 100 feet before they can't communicate with each other anymore. And it actually is pretty good. It responds quickly. That blinking is it refining the signal because it updates every 45 seconds the temperature that's on the gauge. You can tell that my room is obviously a higher temperature than the rest of the house by 2 degrees, which is not ideal for me. But it's the best I'm going to do unless I want to buy myself a dehumidifier or another fan, because in the summertime this room gets really humid. I'm probably going to end up getting myself a small dehumidifier because I've got a whole bunch of computer equipment and I've got that printer there that I don't want to get too humid because I don't want the toner kicking up inside the cartridge. So, but that's not the subject of today's video. This is the subject of today's video. Now, I know a lot of you are looking at this mem and going, what the heck is that for? Well, when I press it, you'll notice the display change to the minimums. This is the minimum recorded since being powered on. And that is the maximum recorded since being powered on. And of course, that's the current. So it does hold a memory, which of course you can reset if something erratic happens or if you have to replace the batteries. It is recommended that you reset these when you replace the batteries. It seems to be getting hotter in here. But the batteries are not that hard to replace. They're not difficult to find batteries. They're not CR2032s. I mean, you think that's a battery. That's not a battery. They're actually under this flip-down door, and they are flip-down door. Pull-out door, and they are just regular double A's. There's nothing fancy about them. Now, for temperatures, at least for the remote sensor, yeah, it's definitely getting hotter in here. Probably because I'm holding it, but for the remote sensor, for temperatures under 32, it is recommended that you use lithium ions. But for anything above it, it's recommended that you use alkalines. Alkalines are cheaper and probably easier to find. I haven't seen a lithium battery in a long time. Not to say they aren't out there. But it's also been a long time since I've bought a lithium battery. But it's not like that also matters for this video. I'm already up at 5 minutes and I'm running out of things to say. This little foot thing, it's actually called a base, if I could actually say the right term for it. Actually, I don't think it can hang on the wall. I thought it can actually go on the wall, but apparently not. But, oh yeah, there's the mouse that I got as well. But this is basically, oh yeah, the alarm function. It has a weekday alarm, a single time alarm, and a pre-alarm. I don't know what the pre-alarm does, but it's pretty obvious what all the rest of these do. Weekdays, single day alarm, and a pre-alarm. You might not notice it there, but there's actually a dash there, and I just noticed that. Because the display is so small. But I'm going to not play around with this thing because I want to actually have accurate temperature readings. This I'm going to keep here until it burns through another set of batteries, and I'm going to get rid of it. But there you go. There's the Meade Instruments clock thing. Okay, I'm going to cut it here before I make any more weird mistakes. So if you have any comments, feel free to leave them down below. And so I'll see you next time. Till then.